everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be looking at the new Circa foundations. I did pick it up in two shades. I picked it up in number 2 and number 6. They don't have actual names, they're just numbered, and I believe there are 10 shades in the line. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the demo part of this so you guys can kind of see how it applies. So the way I like to apply this is kind of just go over it a little bit with my fingers at first and kind of just dot it in the places I need it. I like to do half of my face at a time. And then I just like to go in with my brush and just kind of perfect it and kind of just buff it into the skin. And if you noticed, I only used a little bit. A little bit of this foundation goes a long way. So I am gonna go in with just a little more on that same side just to cover up any of my freckles that are still peeking through. And it does blend out really nicely. So this side of my face has 2 coats and this doesn't have any. It might look kind of dewy, which it does dry down to like a radiant matte finish. So it's kind of in between a satin and a matte, but this kind of dewiness does dry down. So here's what the foundation looks like freshly applied. I did do the other side of my face, as you can see. Just love the way it looks. It kind of reminds me of the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I just love the way it makes my skin look. It's matte, yet there's a radiance about it. So what I do next is I take a lighter foundation, and this is in the shade 2. They do have a concealer, but I like to pick up a foundation if it's full enough coverage and I like the way it looks under my under eyes. I just feel like, you know, you get more, and if it works as a concealer, you save a lot of money because you get more for your buck. So I'm going to be using shade number 2 and just kind of using it as a highlighter because I really don't need any concealing after this foundation because it is, you know, it does have almost full coverage. So I just kind of like to use a lighter shade in this foundation as, you know, just a highlighter. And I kind of just put it on the same way as I did the first shade of the foundation. And as you can see, it goes over really nicely. And you can see it's kind of a peachy, I don't know, yellowy peach shade. I love the shades of the foundation because it just goes so well with my skin tone. I have a lot of yellow undertones in my skin, so this just goes perfectly. So I am going to set the foundation just in the T-zone with a little bit of this Wet n Wild contouring palette. This is in the shade Dulce de Leche, and I'm just going to use a little bit of this yellowish cream shade. And I like this powder a lot because you can get quite a bit and it doesn't look powdery on the skin, and it's super soft and silky. So I'm just going to kind of pat that under my eye, up on my upper lip, and just right in the T-zone. And so I'm back. I put on the rest of my makeup, and I didn't want to rave about this foundation, but I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love this foundation. I know it's expensive, it's $15, but for what you're getting, I think it's completely worth it. I mean, you're getting a medium to full coverage foundation that looks beautiful on the skin. I'm going to read the back of this because I agree with everything it says. So it says, even your complexion and hide imperfections with the silky, fluid, expertly developed shades that work on all undertones. While a soft focus effect adds a subtle glow, this creamy formula delivers instant hydration and blends effortlessly for a flawless finish that enhances your skin and natural beauty. So everything they just said there, I completely agree with. It's like a satin matte, but there's a glow, there's a radiance to it. It looks beautiful. So it's not flat matte. Like I said, it lasts a good amount of time. It's definitely safe to say that this is a longer lasting foundation at the drugstore, even though it does have a little bit of glow to it. I mean, if you're really oily, of course it's gonna break down faster on you than it is, let's say, like someone like me. Like right now, I get a little bit oily in the T-zone, but like my cheeks and everywhere else are kind of dry. So I get a good amount of time with this on my skin before I see any wear, and if I see any, even in the T-zone. So I love the lasting power and the finish. It looks so gorgeous on the skin and it gives me full coverage. It's hard for me to find a full coverage foundation that looks beautiful on the skin. So I love that. And then it also blends out nicely. It blends out evenly. Even after it dries, I can go in with the second foundation to kind of highlight, and it goes over my skin beautifully. It doesn't have any crazy smell. It's in a glass jar with a pump and a nice lid, so you're getting great packaging. And I don't know about you guys, but I really do appreciate when foundations put a pump on their product. So I do love that. I think, like I said, don't quote me, but there is 10 shades, I believe. They do lean to more of a yellow neutrally undertone, but that's perfect for my skin tone. But even if you are kind of more in the neutral area, I can see this working for you. I didn't notice it oxidizing either, but keep in mind I am kind of self-tan right now, so it's harder for me to tell if it oxidizes when I'm self-tanned than when I'm not. So I'm going to do one last close-up for you guys with my makeup completely on. Like I said, I did set it in the middle with the Wet n Wild powder. What, honey? If you do over powder, of course it can get a little bit cakey, but just the foundation on its own, it does not get cakey on me. And as far as any dry patches, I have a little bit of dry patches up on my forehead to where my self-tanner is kind of lifting up, and it doesn't accentuate it, but it doesn't like make it better either. It just kind of stays the same, just adding the coverage. So I really do like that about it. And then my pores, it doesn't accentuate my pores either, but keep in mind I do kind of buff the product into my pores rather than kind of sweeping over them, and that always helps with kind of minimizing your pores. So here's a close-up of my foundation with my makeup on, and you can see that I'm pretty much flawless. I do have like this radiant glow without it looking like dewy or wet or greasy, you know what I mean? So I do love the finish. It's just like a radiant matte powder kind of look, but not cakey whatsoever. I'm just in love with this foundation. As far as a drugstore foundation is concerned, I give this a 10 for being at the drugstore, and I think the $15, like, it's completely worth it for what you're getting and how it looks on the skin. So let me know if you guys end up picking up this foundation and what you think of it. Like I said, I absolutely love it. I picked this up at Walgreens. I think you can only find it at Walgreens or like CVS. This is new to Walgreens, so if it's not in your stores yet, don't worry. I think it's only in select Walgreens. So I am trying out some of their lip products, so I will let you know what I think about those in future videos. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.